Project Charities, His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada Ki, ISKCON Svandracharya Srila Prabhupada Ki, Anantakoti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki, Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki, Prem Sigahasa Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadha Shivas Adi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki, Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopinath Shamkun Radhakun Giri Govardhan Ki, Shri Vrindavan Dham Ki, Shri Mayapur Dham Ki, Shri Jagannath Puri Dham Ki, Shri Shri Radha Radhanath Ki, Shri Giri Govardhan Ki, Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Ki, Shri Shri Dayal Nitai Gaura Hari Ki, Srila Prabhupada Ki, Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki, Shri Hare Krishna Mahamantra Ki, ISKCON Pietermaritzburg Yatra Ki, ISKCON Escort Yatra Ki, Gaur Premanande,
Hari Hari Bol.
All glories to their assembled devotees.
Hare Krishna.
Glories to their assembled devotees.
Hare Krishna.
All glories to their assembled devotees.
Hare Krishna.
Glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna. Everyone, Hare Krishna. Everyone sit down, relax, while the deities are being cleaned and dressed and prepared. We'll have some Krishna Katha. So, just the other day, what was it, on Monday, wasn't it? We were here in Pietermaritzburg. Maybe we should just stay here in Pietermaritzburg. We're here so much of the time. So anyway, we were here and we had a program. Those of you who are local, you would remember, we had a program for Mother Rasamrita's Sri Sri Krishna Balaram Sri Sri Krishna Kanaya Dauji Kabaya Govardhan Shilas. That was nice. That was very nice. And now here we are today again. And we're trying to have a nice program for these Radha Krishna deities, and I assume that we must give them a name in due course.
Yes.
Yes, okay. Yes, so on Monday, just a few days ago, we read the special verse from the second canto. Those of you who were there would remember. A very nice verse. Let me just touch on it a bit. I won't go through the whole thing, but it's second canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, chapter 3, Pure Devotional Service, the Change in Heart. And we read verse 22, which goes as follows. Barhayate te nayane naranam, lingani vishno nanarikshato ye, padonrinam to druma janma bajo, shetrani nanu vrajato hariryo. ISKCON South Africa National Council, GBC, Govardhan Prabhu, Namacharya Prabhu, Radhe Shyam Prabhu, Vaishnav Pran Prabhu, and Rupa, Hare Krishna, Rupa Nuga, right? Rupa Nuga. Rupa Goswami. Wow, excuse me. Ki Jai. I get this good feeling from you. Anyway, we'll see. Hare Krishna. Right, okay, so we're just reading this verse here. The translation, the eyes which do not look at the symbolic representations of the personality of Godhead Vishnu, his forms, name, quality, etc., are like those printed on the plumes of the peacock, and the legs which do not move to the holy places where the Lord is remembered are considered to be like tree trunks. And then we read something of the purport. It's quite a long purport. We just read a bit. Prabhupada said, especially for the householder devotees, the path of deity worship is strongly recommended. As far as possible, every householder, by the direction of the spiritual master, must install the deity of Vishnu, forms like Radha Krishna, as we're doing here, Radha Krishna, Lakshmi Narayan, or Sitaram especially, or any other form of the Lord like Nrsimha, Varaha, Gornitai, Matsya, Kurama, Shalagram, Shila, and many other forms of Vishnu like Trivikram, Keshava, Achyuta, Vasudev, Narayan, and Damodar, as recommended in the Vaishnav Tantras or Puranas, and one's family should worship strictly following the directions and regulations of Archana Vidhi. And an interesting point, any member of the family who is above must be above 12 years of age. Yeah. Should be initiated by a bona fide spiritual master, and then all the members of the household should take part in the worship of the deity. This is at home, and what to speak of in the temple, the actual ISKCON temple. Absolutely. So this is very nice that even though the main practice, the main process for this Kali Yuga is the chanting of the holy names, Harir Nam, Harir Nam, Harir Nam, Eva Kevalam, Kalo Nasjeva, 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 Gatir Anyata. That's the process. Can I just ask Prabhu behind you, Hare Krishna, are you above 12 years of age?
Yes, I am.
Oh, you are. Then you should be initiated and take part in the deity worship and everything. Excuse me, sorry. But anyway, it's true. It's very true. Because yes, even though the chanting of the holy names is the main process and every other type of activity in Krishna consciousness is based on it, but still we should do, and we must do really, but at the very least we should do so many of the other devotional activities like studying the literatures, trying to explain things, Krishna consciousness to the people who are not aware, cooking for the Lord, offering arati. Well, offering arati is part of deity worship, and cleaning the temple. All these things, they're all devotional activities, and they're essential. They're not just very important. When I first joined the temple a while ago in London, we were told that Prabhupada said, you clean the temple, you clean your heart. So we must engage, first and foremost, in chanting the holy names. Secondly, in the worship of the deity. Yes. So therefore we find that in the history, the tradition, the history of this Krishna consciousness movement, going back to Lord Chaitanya, the 6 Goswamis, and others of their contemporaries and devotees from around that time, and going back beyond that too, that the worship of the deities was going on, and really going on in a very focused and serious way. So that, for example, Lord Chaitanya himself, he worshipped a Govardhan Shila. He worshipped a Govardhan Shila for some time. That Shila is still in Vrindavan, they say, in the Radha Gokulananda temple. And he would massage that deity. He had a very personal relationship with that Govardhan Shila. And he would bathe the Shila with his tears and then massage the Shila with his hands, and particularly his right thumb. And he massaged and massaged the Shila to the point that if you see that Shila, there's an indentation in the top of it. Devotees, please come in. There is tons of room. There's just so much room. Hare Krishna. Look, there's even room in the front row. Yeah, come. Aage. Sit. Baitiye aap. Sit down and relax. Ladies, welcome. So, right, Lord Chaitanya, he worshipped that Govardhan Shila himself, like every day and for hours. Like Srila Jiva Goswami, when he was a child, means like 6, 7 years old, just small. He had deities of Krishna and Balaram, and he had deities or little figures of cowherd boys and cowherd girls and cows. He had lots of cows and elephants. He just had this whole, collection of these different deities and other figures. And he would, Jiva Goswami as a child, he would just the whole day, from the morning till the night, he would have, you could call them games, but it was much more serious than games. He would arrange, Krishna and Balaram were the focal points, but then he would arrange cowherd boys here and there, and cows, and then some gopis one side, and then Krishna would go and join the gopis after a while, and then he'd come back, and in the meantime the cowherd boys would have done this and that and various other things. It was just for hours, and like 8 hours or more a day, he'd make these arrangements with his Krishna, Balaram deities, and all these others, dozens of these little just small types of figures. You might call them deities or just figures of these different personalities. And his friends would call him to come and play, and he wouldn't go. The only time he would go and join his friends was when he had done a bhoga offering to Krishna and Balaram, and then he'd go out to distribute the prasadam to his young friends. And when his mother would call him for his meals, he would say, "Just now coming." And he wouldn't come. He wouldn't come the whole day. He'd offer the bhoga to the deities. He'd just go out and distribute it. This was his program all day. Very, very amazing. And others too. Others were like that. Srila Prabhupada was like that. At a young age, his father gave him Radha Govinda, and he would spend time with them. Others like Uddhava, the associate of Lord Krishna, he had the same program. And as a child, we're talking here about children, would do these things with great attention, perseverance, and it was very amazing. And then, of course, when they got older, when they became adults, Srila Rupa Goswami had Radha Govinda, and Sanatan Goswami had Madan Mohan, and Raghunath Das. Well, Gopal Bhatta had Radha Raman, and Raghunath Bhatta Goswami he helped in the worship of Radha Govinda. And actually he built the temple, or had the big old temple built, Raghunath Bhatta. And who else was there? Well, Jiva Goswami. Srila Rupa Goswami carved with his own hands, little Radha Damodar. They're now in Jaipur. Small, they're sort of something like this size. Little Radha Damodar. And Jiva Goswami worshipped them. I think that's all the 6 Goswamis. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, who did he worship? Do you remember? Radha Gokulananda. Well, actually just Gokulananda. Just a little deity of Krishna about this size. Really, just tiny little deity of Krishna on his own was worshipped by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. Then Baladev Vidyabhushan. Anyone remember? Do you remember? No. Baladev Vidyabhushan worshipped Radhasham Sundar. Sure, yeah. So my point is that even though the chanting of the holy names is definitely the main activity, but the worship of deities is also extremely important and extremely beneficial for the devotees. And Lokanath Goswami, he had Radha Vinod. And there's many different stories about these devotees interacting with their deities and the deities interacting with these devotees. Like Lokanath Goswami, he was sent with Bhugaba Goswami to Vrindavan before the 6 Goswamis. The 2 of them, they were the first, sent by Lord Chaitanya. And Lokanath, he was staying at a place in Vrindavan called Kadiyavan. It's still there. There's a little village there now. And there's a kund there called Kishori Kund. Kishori is Srimati Radharani. There are many Kishori Kunds actually in Vraj Mandala. So he was staying there. He just arrived. And he's just on his own because Bhugaba went off to some other part of Vraj Mandala. And one day, one local bridge bussy boy walked up with this, smallish deity, quite small, like around about this size, I'd say. Walked up to him with this deity and said, "Here, take this." Bang. And he looked up to say, "Well, what do I do? And why me?" And he looked up and the boy had vanished. And that was Vinod, Radha Vinod. And the deity spoke to Lokanath right then and there and said, "I'm hungry, feed me." And he had to quickly get together some aloo sabji, if you know what aloo means. You know what aloo means, right? Good on you. You know something. No, you know many things, actually. Yeah, "I'm hungry, feed me. Make me some aloo sabji." So he did. And he had like a very personal relation. A truly personal relationship. They would just talk to each other. And he had a bead bag. This is my bead bag. I am in Nrsimha mood these days because it was Lord Nrsimhadev's appearance day. Anyway. So he had a bead bag bigger than this, say twice the size. And you know what he did? He kept his chanting beads there, right? Wrong. He kept Radha Vinod there. And he would just walk around. That was his japa. Walk around, hand in bead bag, massaging Vinod. Just all day, just massaging and chanting and massaging. Really, it's amazing. The relationships these devotees had with their deities. Incredible. And Prabhupada also, when Prabhupada first was traveling, was first in America, and then he started moving around. He went to Canada, he went to the West Coast, he was in New York, he went to the West Coast, then he went to Canada, and then to Europe. And Prabhupada took these small Radha Krishna deities. They are, to my knowledge, are they on the altar in Mayapur? Is it those ones, or in New York? Anyway, they are around somewhere. And I can just tell you that one time Prabhupada and his entourage, he would travel with 3 or 4 people or something like that, at least 3 or 4. And one time they were en route from one place in America to another place, but they had to take 2 flights. And in between the 2 flights, there was some maybe 4 hours. There was some time. So what they did, they went to the temple. There was a temple ISKCON temple in that particular, this place in the middle, in between where they're coming from and where the destination was. So Prabhupada's deities were in some sort of traveling case, and one of the devotees in the entourage had to look after the deities. So anyway, they stopped there just for like an hour, and then they had to go back out to the airport. So, they had to get off the plane, then drive to the temple. So they only had about an hour in the temple. And the pujari of the team, he just left the deities in the box. And he took a bath and got himself together. And of course, what did he do? He got some prasadam and all these things. And Prabhupada saw him. And Prabhupada got really upset. And Prabhupada said, look at you. You are very comfortable, aren't you? Well, what about the deities? They're still in the box. So Prabhupada also, he was very personal with deities. And in Chaitanya Charitamrita, there are a number of accounts of devotees and their deities. There's the story of Sakshi Gopal, who walked from Vrindavan more or less to Jagannath Puri. It is around 2,000 kilometers. He walked himself. And then Gopal from Govardhan Hill, who became Srinathji. Yeah, so these accounts, and there are others too, are in Chaitanya Charitamrita, that how these devotees, first of all, how they respected the deities, and secondly, how they interacted with them and looked after them as persons, not just like things, not even just like nice things or valuable things. You may look after, if you've got some valuable things, you may look after them nicely and take care. But they really looked after these deities very personally. And I particularly love telling stories of Gauridas Pandit and his deities. Oh, Krishna. I'm going to have to tell you a Gauridas Pandit story. You probably heard it before. I might tell you a few. Gauridas Pandit, he had the original Gaur-Nitai deities. He took permission from Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda. Can I make deities of you? And they said yes. So he had these life-size deities made. Lord Chaitanya was well over 6 feet tall. He was exceptionally tall, Lord Chaitanya. And Lord Nityananda was not small at all. So Gauridas had these deities made and put on the altar, and he would worship them. And that was all he'd do all day. Just like Jiva Goswami as a child, but now Gauridas was an adult with these installed deities of Gaur-Nitai, like 6 or 7 feet tall. They're still there in Kalna, Ambika Kalna. And what he would do, his particular thing, he would cook for the deities the whole day. Early in the morning, he'd go out to the market and get boga. Then he'd spend the whole day cooking and cooking and cooking all these different Bengali sabjis and savories and just and sweets and all the types of Bengali prasad you can think of, and many you can't. Yeah. And then 5 o'clock in the afternoon, he'd make a big offering. And by the time he did the offering, he was finished completely. He was just ready to drop. And one day he's doing the offering. He's just put the plates, with like 30 preparations. Like 30 preparations. He put the plates in front of Gornitai and chant the mantras and then look up at the deities. And Lord Chaitanya spoke to him and said, Gauridas, you don't need to cook so many things for us. You don't need it. You don't need to. We'll be happy. We'll be very happy just to get some plain white rice and spinach. We'll be happy. Just give us that. We don't like to see you exhausted like this. And if you do something simple, then you can do other service for us. You can do kirtan. Do some kirtan. We'd love to hear your kirtan. Or you can read some shastra to us. We'd love to hear. Rather than just get all these food preparations and see you so exhausted you're just finished for the day. And Gauridas looked at Lord Chaitanya and said, you don't like my cooking, do you? And Lord Chaitanya said, no, we love your cooking. We really like your cooking. But we'd like to receive some other service from you, not just food, some kirtan and, like that. And we don't need all these fancy preparations every day. And Gauridas looked at him again and said, I understand. You don't like my cooking. And then Lord Nityananda spoke. The deity, these are deities. Lord Nityananda spoke and said, we love your cooking. It is the very, very best. But like Lord Gauranga said, we'd like to see you do some other service and not be so exhausted. And so you don't need to cook so many things at all. Just plain white rice and spinach. That's enough. We'll just be so happy. And Gauridas looked at Lord Nityananda and said, you don't like my cooking either, do you? And Lord Nityananda said, no, I love your cooking. It's wonderful. So it went back and forth for a while between them. And in the end, Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda, the deities, said, listen, you just do whatever you like, okay? We'll accept it. We leave it up to you. We don't want to disturb you. So we should know that the deity is the person. The deity is not a representation, not some sort of symbol or something of that sort. Even though this verse here, anyway, Srila Prabhupada refers to the deities as symbolic representations. It's the only place I can recall seeing him do that. Otherwise, he was very personal, my gosh, about deities. So, there's a saying, if you give mercy, you get mercy. And in the same vein, it's slightly different, but it's the same idea. If you treat the deity as a person, if you look after the deity in personal ways, the deity will look after you. Oh yes, the deity will look after you. They say, them. You've heard of them, right? The ones who say things. Anyway, they say that Madan Mohan, the original Madan Mohan, he was in Vrindavan, but then he was taken to Jaipur by Jai Singh. I think it was Jai Singh, who had a deal with the Muslims, didn't he? The Muslim emperor married his sister, right? And he, I think, was sort of like, he had a role in the Muslim army. So the Muslims were going around smashing deities and temples, but Jai Singh told whoever the Muslim was, the emperor or whatever, that let us just take these deities to Jaipur, to my place. Just let us do that. And he let them. So Govinda went, Gopinath went, Damodar went, Radha Vinod went, and Madan Mohan went. But after a while, the one, I think, daughter of, I don't know if it was daughter of Jai Singh, but daughter of whoever happened to be the king at that particular time, which is the same time, basically, that Jai Singh was there. She got married to the prince of Karoli. I don't know if you've been to Karoli. Very interesting place. And it was a separate kingdom. So they had all these small kingdoms. So many small kingdoms. And, the palace, they had a beautiful palace. There still is a beautiful palace there in Karoli. And the temple of Madan Mohan is just sort of at the back or the front or just by the palace. So she was so attached to Madan Mohan. When she got married to the prince or the king, whoever he was, of Karoli, she insisted that Madan Mohan come. And he came. And he's still there, actually. But one time, the Muslims came and attacked Karoli. And Karoli was just being overpowered by the Muslims. And it looked like, it's all over for Karoli. But what they say is, they say that Madan Mohan ran out of the temple, went up on the roof where all the cannons were, and Madan Mohan was running up and down, firing the cannons at the Muslims, and the Muslims had to run away. You heard that? Yeah, no, I heard it. Not only did I hear it, I put it in my book about Vrindavan. Yes. So those deities, just deities in general, if you treat them personally and look after them, then they look after you. It's just such an opportunity to get mercy. It's practically inconceivable, actually. So much mercy is available. But if we don't look after them, if the deities are there, but we don't look after them, well, expect some trouble. Yeah, expect some problems. You know what they say? It's also in my book about Radha Raman. You know Radha Raman in Vrindavan? That one of the children of the family that, there's a whole group of families who worship Radha Raman. They're descended from disciples of Gopal Bhatta Goswami. They said this one boy, what did he do? I think he pushed a stick or something through the ears of Radha Raman. Right through, and out the other side. And like the next day or a few days later, he died in some horrible condition. Anyway, who knows? But the fact is, the name of the program is reciprocation with deities. Yeah. And if you really look after the deities, they really look after you. Because the deity is the person. The deity, like we said, is not just a representation, not just a device to stimulate remembrance. I don't know if you've ever done, if you learn verses, then you have your your verse cards, and they're just to remind you. And you go into the bathroom, and right in the center of the mirror is a verse card, one of your Bhagavad Gita verses. And you go out into the hallway, and there's another verse card. So they're just to remind, they're devices to remind. But the deity is not just a device to remind. The deity is a person. So sometimes we tell a story, it's just a little made-up thing, that one day, one of the devotees from Pietermaritzburg, he and his wife had a habit or a practice that just before he would leave for work, they would discuss what was going to be for dinner tonight. Do you do that? Anyway, they did. They did. So what shall we have tonight? Oh, let's have biryani dal and salad. Famous preparations. Okay, we'll do it. Then off the husband went to work. And at work, because he's a very faithful husband, at work on his desk, what does he have? Tell me. A photo of his wife. Nice, not little thing. Nice photo of his wife on his desk at work. And then during the course of the day, he thought, biryani dal and carrot salad. I had that at the Hare Krishna temple on Sunday. I want something different. And he thought, I know what I want. I want butter paneer with puris. How's that? And some halava. So he looked at his nice picture of his wife and said, my dear wife, please don't make biryani and dal. please make some butter paneer. You know, Bhakti Charu Maharaj's recipe with puris. All right, he's speaking to the picture, to the photo of his wife. So then that evening, he went home, and take a guess what he got. Biryani. He got biryani. Because his wife, even though she may be a very nice devotee, she is not present in her photo. She hasn't reached that level yet. So the husband said, "What's this? Biryani and dal. But I thought I told you. You know, during the day I thought I told you. I've had enough of that. And I wanted butter paneer, Bhakti Charu Maharaj's recipe, and puris and halava." And his wife just went blank. "What? When did you tell me? You didn't telephone me. If you phoned me, you know, no problem." But he said, "No, I told your picture. Didn't you hear me?" Well, no, she didn't, because she's not on that level. But the deity is on that level. There's a nice story. Sridhar Swami, Sridhar Maharaj told us that he was with Prabhupada in Bhaktivedanta Manor one time, and what happened? They went down. Oh no, Prabhupada said they were going to go down for the deity greeting. Just before they went, Srila Prabhupada just turned to Sridhar Maharaj and said, "The difference between you and me is that you can fall down any time, but I will never fall down." And then he turned around and went down to the deity greeting. So they're down there in the deity greeting in Bhaktivedanta Manor. And Sridhar Swami sees that Prabhupada, his lips, his mouth is moving. He's speaking. He's speaking something. So anyway, you know, the deity greeting finished and everything. Then Prabhupada gave class. Then they went back up to Prabhupada's quarters. And Sridhar Maharaj asked Prabhupada, he said, "Srila Prabhupada, when we were down there in the deity greeting, I saw you were looking at the deities and you were speaking. I could see you were speaking. What were you saying?" And Srila Prabhupada said, "I was praying to the deity that I will not fall down." And Sridhar Maharaj said, "But you just told me earlier that you'll never fall down. That's the difference between you and me. You just told me that." And Prabhupada said, "Yes, that's because I'm always praying that I don't fall down." Yeah. Anyway, the deities. Well, I know, well, actually, Vansivat Prabhu is head pujari in Soho Street Temple, London. But I know in Bhaktivedanta Manor, the pujaris, I remember them complaining that some of Krishna's clothes did not fit him any longer, because they said his waist size had increased. That's what they said. But there are many accounts of deities acting, speaking, moving, and doing things. And it's not like we should just expect it to happen like some sort of normal happening. These are very special things for very special devotees only. But they happen. They happen. And if we continue on with our Krishna consciousness nicely, if we really apply ourselves, if we really chant really nicely, and if our service is to worship the deity or to be involved in the process, but we really apply ourselves nicely, then sooner or later, who knows? Well, you'll definitely get reciprocation from the deity. And when it happens, you'll know, oh, that's Krishna intervening in my life. Krishna does that for his devotees. Even though we are not, none of us are on the level of these great devotees who I mentioned. Rupa Goswami, Lokanath Goswami, Gauridas Pandit. But still, we're there somewhere. We're in the picture somewhere. Maybe a little bit in the background, but somewhere. And if we really try, then, and particularly if we take the deity seriously, then Krishna will take us seriously. Let me just tell you one other little story. And it's actually a story I told last night, in fact, about Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada was in America, and one day some devotee just rolled up from Los Angeles and told that I need to see Prabhupada. I have been sent from Los Angeles. I've been sent by the GBC, Jayatirtha at the time. Did you ever know Jayatirtha? Not really? Did you? Yeah. Right, yes, those of us who've been around for longer. I mean, I knew him extremely well. So yeah, Jayatirtha has sent me to meet with Srila Prabhupada with very important message or business. So Prabhupada had the devotee come in, and the devotee told Srila Prabhupada that, on Sunday, which was just a couple of days before, on Sunday in Los Angeles, big temple, during the Sunday program, a troupe of Indian classical dancers came and did a performance for all the guests in our Sunday program. And it was just really wonderful. The guests were so appreciative, extremely appreciative. We never had a response like that before. They loved this expert Indian, like genuine Indian classical dancing, not Bollywood, hopping around and something like that, doing a couple of spins or whatever. And the devotee said, yes, so Jayatirtha Prabhu, GBC, sent me to inform you, and he gave me some photos. And here they are. He handed over the photos, and they're kind of like, bigger photos blown up. And Prabhupada's looking at the photos, and the devotees going on about, oh, the people loved it. It was such a success. And Prabhupada's looking at one photo. And Prabhupada said, in this photo, the dancers are dancing with their backs to the deities. And the devotee said, yes, well, yeah, we knew about that, but We discussed this and we felt that's the best way to do it, because in the Los Angeles temple, the deities are here and the guests sit out there. So therefore they danced with their backs to the deities. And Prabhupada said, in Nectar of Devotion, Srila Rupa Goswami says, you must never turn your back to the deities. And the devotee said, yes, well, we thought that. But then Prabhupada repeated, Jiva Goswami said, you must never turn your backs to the deities. And the devotee understood, whoops, we've got a problem here. And so he said to Prabhupada, well, we didn't know what to do. We thought it was the best thing. So we asked Jaya Tirtha, the GBC, and Jaya Tirtha said it was all right. And Prabhupada said, oh, I see. Srila Rupa Goswami says, you must never turn your back to the deity. But Jaya Tirtha says it's all right. And Prabhupada said, just see, Jaya Tirtha has become big authority. Big authority. And Prabhupada said, that is the problem in ISKCON. Too many big authorities. So you got to look after the deities. Devotees, are the deities ready? Oh, they are. Okay. So anyway, now I heard to give a name. All right, I will do that. Just let me think for a sec. And as they come out, I'll announce the name, but just hang on for a minute. Okay, I think I've got an idea. Something a little different. Not too different, but a little different. Okay, so please bring the deities. When you bring, just stand. Okay. Come and just stand here holding the deities. So everyone can see. That's okay. I've got to announce. Okay, well, I just got the inspiration. Shri Radha Vinod Ki Jai. Radha Vinod, Radha of course is Radha. Vinod is Krishna, means like the shelter. The shelter. Like Bhakti Vinod. He's the shelter of Bhakti. So Radha Vinod, they were the deities of Lokanath Goswami, and they're in Jaipur. Is that okay?
Perfect, thank you.
Shri Radha Vinod Ki Jai. Don't they look beautiful? They look outstanding. And Mataji Manchwali and team will look after them. And Smriti, will you also help?
Yes.
You will? And Mataji, Ram Leela, right? You'll also help? Oh, good. You all want the mercy. That's intelligent. Okay, very good. So let's offer them their first arati with kirtan. But don't sit down. Everyone stand up except our okay. one of your controversial blows. His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada Ki
Jai!
ISKCON's founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki
Jai!
Anantakoti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki
Jai!
Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki
Jai!
Prem Sigas Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki
Jai!
Shri Radha Krishna Gopinath Shamkud Radhakund Giri Govardhan Ki
Jai!
Shri Vrindavan Dham Ki
Jai!
Shri Mayapur Dham Ki
Jai!
Shri Jagannath Puri Dham Ki
Jai!
Shri Radha Vinod Ki
Jai!
Shri Radha Vinod Ki
Jai!
Shri Radha Vinod Ki Shri Dalnitai Gora Hari Ki
Jai!
Shri Dalnitai Gora Hari Ki
Jai!
Srila Prabhupada Ki
Jai!
Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki
Jai!
Go Brahmanande! All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
His Holiness Bhakti Chaitanya Swami Maharaj.
Jai!
Namaste Narasingaya. Pradala Pradaya. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So,